I had to print up a bunch of these 12-sided countdown dice that I did in a larger size and with the YAR logo this time instead of the 12
Hmm.
to put in my game so that you start the logo and end of the logo and it no longer has a numerical value. So you
Why do you?
start with YAR up, which is a 0 at that point,
Uh-huh.
and then when you get back to YAR, you win. So it's one, two, three, four, the rest of those. Um, but yeah, what sucked is I had previously printed these out, and then I realized that somehow they were not correctly faced,
Oh,
and so I had to redo the whole thing. I chose to redo the whole thing. I didn't have to.
well, I mean, that's good because you're doing constant quality improvement.
God's work, man.
You're a natural lean thinker,
I am.
or is it agile? Are you lean or agile?
I'm actually trained in both.
Cool. That shows. It
But
shows in
what I
the process.
what I definitely my actually a friend of mine just posted on the Facebook, I don't like learning through failure. And I responded, is there any other way?
Right. That's kind of how you learn how to do stuff.
Well, see, that's the thing. And so I started to think about this, right? And it's interesting because I have never been successful in learning anything traditionally.
Hmm.
Like I've never sat down and read a book and then successfully done something. I have to iterations of failure into it.
Right. I mean, that's called experience.
Right.
Like when you
And
start anything, you're shit at it.
right.
You try it, you get better, and you keep getting better, and you work at it, and you learn what you like. Because the whole, conscious competence, unconscious competence, conscious incompetence, you're familiar with that matrix?
Mm-mm.
So when you start something new, you have unconscious incompetence. Don't know how to do it, and you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Then you go into conscious incompetence where you're learning what to do, but you are still figuring it out, right? And then
And
you,
but you know the directions that you don't know in.
right. And then you get into conscious competence where you can do it. And then after you get a lot of experience, you get into unconscious competence where you're no longer thinking about what you're doing. It's so ingrained that now you can just do that thing.
That is absolutely my process.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because when you start doing anything, you can't be good at it because you don't know what there is to like you don't know the nuanced things that you need to know in order to do it well. Only by doing it do you start to realize, oh, these are the nuanced things that I couldn't possibly have known before I started actually doing it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, so with like the dice making stuff, I started off, I watched a bunch of things to make me familiar.
Hmm.
Then I went and immediately did it as soon as possible so I could fail at it.
Uh-huh.
Because then you know what you need to learn. And then you do a little more research in the thing that you failed, and then you repeat. And then
Isn't that
you
even an agile principle? Fail fast?
Oh yeah, fail faster
Yeah.
is like I need that tattooed on my forehead. Like
Yeah,
that's
totally.
the failures are good. The failures are progress. If you're
Yeah.
not failing, you're probably just doing it so wrong you don't even know.
I heard even in more of like the business mentor world, someone say if you're not failing regularly, you're not taking enough risks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I 100%. Or you're not
Well,
learning anything.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't be upset about failure. Like failures are your opportunity to learn.
No, and that's what's been really interesting with like the 3D printing process. Like I'm failing righteously. Like I mean on the stuff but I'm also pushing the boundaries and that's why I'm failing. I'm not failing at like the basic stuff. Like that's easy. I can print dice all day, which is what I started off doing, right? That's why I
Uh-huh.
got this thing. But now I'm like, I want to do this thing that's outside and this is harder and this is harder. And so I just keep failing at those things. But what happens is when you stretch your legs that way, you end up being even better at the simple thing.
Hmm.
So you come up with iterative refinements on your process that make you better at the simple stuff too by reaching out and trying like when I did that chess set for my brother, I had no business doing that. Like that was
Mhm.
well outside of my wheelhouse. But I
Right.
did it, I struggled through it, I got through it, I pushed myself and I learned so much. And I don't want to do it again. Like I
Uh-huh.
can do it now, but I don't want to. But it's
But what
pushed
you
me in
learn
other
from
di
that is useful in a wider context.
Correct. And it has also opened up new avenues. So like there would be without that chess set challenge, there would be no Fortuna statues,
Right.
which is a simpler version of the whole principles of chess set thing.
Mm.
But yeah, anyway, I guess that's our cold open.
Your aleatoric reality.
Welcome to Your Aleatoric Reality, the show that fails fast.
That's awesome.
So, today on the show, we have an interview with a Twilight Lord, which is a rank in the game of Morton's List. Morton's List we have talked about quite a bit on the show. It is basically what introduced me into the concept of random reality, of using dice rolls and other random determination for real life decisions and real life activities. So we have Nathan, Ninja Nate, as he goes by, his handle, if you will, using my 90s internet slang, his handle, Ninja Nate.
His
Ninja
handle.
Nate is one of the three creators of Morton's List. And I would say getting him on the show was not quite as much of a moonshot as Andy Looney, just because I already had a pre-existing relationship with him. I have presented with him at Penguicon, and we've had various dealings throughout the year. So I felt pretty confident that if I invited him, that he would come on. And he's very cool, very gracious dude, and he did agree to come on. So we have our discussion with Ninja Nate, one of the co-creators of Morton's List.
We already started.
We already started. Great.
Yeah, actually, just now.
So, I guess I'll do the introduction first. We're here with Ninja Nate Andrin, author, adventurer, hotelier, former ambassador, and co-creator of the world's first random reality game, Morton's List. We've talked about Morton's List on the show. Morton's List was my gateway into random living, and I can unequivocally say that without Nate and his creation, this show would not exist. Ninja Nate, welcome to the show.
Wow. Thanks for that introduction, my friend Misha. We've gone back many years now, and I am beyond stoked to be on your show. It is my seriously favorite podcast. I'm such a random nerd geek, and I just love what you and Damon are doing, so thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad you said you love randomness, because the first order of business is for Damon to give you a D4, a D3, and a D5, and we're going to have you roll them.
They're in the bag.
Lovely.
In your consolation gift.
And this will
Yes.
determine how many of each category question we give you. Listeners of the show will know that when we have guests, we have some anyone icebreaker questions. We have some specific questions for the guest, and then some that are kind of like more wacky, silly questions. And Ninja Nate will now roll.
This is
for
amazing.
How many of each category? So you can probably find a D4 on your own. Oh, that's a D3. And a D5 will be roughly triangular.
7.
Did you give him a D5?
Oh, it's a D10.
Oh,
times
like it's a
two.
D10 that
Lovely.
goes 1 to 5 twice. Nice.
Lovely.
So for the icebreaker questions, I'm going to have you roll a D4 and add 3 to that roll. Got to be on the table. D&D rules.
3 plus 3 is 6.
That is a D4, yeah. So 6. We're going to get 6 of the icebreakers. 1, 6. And then I'm going to need you to roll, for the wacky questions, roll a D3 and add 1 to that roll.
Excellent. This looks like a lot of symbols. I think that.
Which the paper, paper would be 1. It's also
right.
rock, paper, scissors die.
Lovely, lovely.
And
All right.
Damon invented those icons too. He designed those icons.
These dice,
himself.
by the way, you guys can't see them as a podcast, is an amazing grab bag of deliciously colored cosmic dice that you've ever seen. It is seriously, Damon, your skills are beyond reproach. I love
We'll
it.
have to snap a photo so we can post that collection of dice that we gave Damon.
Well, I
Damon
definitely
gave
wanted to
Nate.
make sure that I gave you all the different sized boulders that I had.
Yes, this large boulder here is the largest boulder I've ever seen in my life.
We believe it's the largest boulder. Oh no, it's not. Probably not the largest boulder. We have the smallest boulder in existence, as far as we know.
This is quite.
And when I say we, it's Damon.
That is actually brand new. I actually did that. I was inspired by you coming on to.
Well, thank you,
Go
sir.
up
This
and
is
up
this
and
is
up.
amazing. This is like a 50 millimeter. I don't know how large it is. Larger than the largest Morton boulder, which is a 30-sided die. We should declare. Now I've just presented with this is a 20-sider. It seems okay. Very good. Super huge, the size of your palm.
It's like a
Wow.
baseball size. Yeah.
Yeah. That would hurt if you were to throw it at something.
Yeah. I just did that.
All right, and then finally, for the Nate specific questions, I'm going to have you roll a d5 and subtract that from 11.
That looks like a 5.
So we're going to do 6 of
6.
those. 6. All right. Okay, and then I need to randomize the list of questions we selected, and now we'll do that and put it into a document, a cloud document that Damon can also see. All right, well, we've got our assemblage of questions. Do you see the document? I didn't title it.
That would help.
I'll title it Ninja Nate, and now you should see a document in there called Ninja Nate, and I'll go ahead and ask the first question while you're trying to find it.
Got it.
Nate, in this show, we sometimes call random reality gambling with experience. When we did our gambling episode, we called it gambling with money. Are you a casino person? What are your thoughts on gambling with money?
I did love your gambling episode, and it definitely triggered some amazing gambling experiences of my own. I am much like Damon, a anti-gambler. I find it to be a way to spend money that if I found it entertaining, I would spend money in that way, like to see a movie or something else. But I find it stressful, so I actually actively avoid gambling. That said, I will say that we recently went to Vegas with Brad Luttrell, a Mutant 13, a high-level Morton's List player, who was doing the Challenge of 13, something in the original Morton's List, which is a very high-level quest in Twilight Scroll.
$1,300 on 13 on roulette?
Yes, indeed.
That's the one Twilight quest that I've always wanted to do, even without rolling it. I've always wanted to do that one.
Well, we did it. We went to Vegas. He made a whole trip out of it. We created a whole trip out of it, invited all kinds of people out, and we did. He sat it down and put $100 on 13 times.
Wow.
Yep. And spoiler alert, he did hit it, and we all blew our minds. And I'm like, that's why people gamble.
Yes.
That's why, because that feeling, that insanity of like.
So what was the
oh,
return on
yeah,
100?
shit. It was like
It's
I think
38 to
36
1,
38
right?
to 1. Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, he made his money back, but he's such
Yeah.
a great guy. He just started handing out $100 bills to everybody. It was just a night, you know. So
Wow.
That is
I get
so
it when you're
great. That is so great. Yeah, because while you're doing it, you're anxious and you're like, you get a dopamine drop, and then when you if you don't hit, then you just go home sad. But if you hit, you get such a dopamine boost.
Yes.
It's hard to like that. I don't think any drug can even that feeling.
Yeah, it's almost like endorphins at that point, you know, and you're with
Yeah.
your crew and everyone's high-fiving and you just can't believe what
That's awesome.
happened, you know.
That's way better than our roulette experience, which is basically like lighting money on fire.
Right. It did nothing but reinforce Damon's bad view of gambling.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Burning
I like it.
recycling.
I've never won a huge jackpot, but I like gambling just in the idea that it is paying homage to the gods of randomness.
Certainly,
like
certainly.
I consider a casino a temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A temple to randomness. So,
An exploitation.
all right. Did you get that document up?
Yeah.
You're on deck.
What was your dream job when you were a kid?
It was to be a chef just like Jack Tripper from Three's Company. Yeah. That might date me. But I think it was more like his lifestyle. I think he was living with the two girls, and it seemed like a pretty
Yeah.
cool situation. Three's Company for people under 40 or under 60. It's like an old sitcom in which there was like a chef guy, and he was living with these two girls, but they weren't doing anything. It
Which
was
in the
super
70s was
controversial.
super scandalous.
Super
For a guy to
scandalous.
live with two women, so he had to pretend that he was gay.
Yes, right.
Did he
yeah.
though? So I was actually. So here's the thing. I think that joke was never stated. I think it was only implied.
Right. Yeah, they couldn't say the word gay, I'm sure.
Right.
back then, yeah.
So it was heavily implied. But I
Well, yeah, because if the landlord's coming, I better put a pink scarf around my neck.
exactly
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it may not play well these days.
Right.
But back then, that's all we knew.
Did not age
I
well.
mean, it's going to play better than Bosom Buddies.
Oh, yeah, but
Right?
some buddies, yeah, cross-dressing.
You're
Tom
just trying to
Hanks.
bring Tom Hanks into the mix.
Well,
Of course, everything. This is a podcast about Tom. Hanks.
It secretly. Anyhow, so
Lovely.
Jack Tripper inspired you to want to be a chef.
Yeah,
What derailed you from that dream?
I think I realized like what being a chef is actually about, and it seemed, like these TV shows recently.
It's
you know,
about being
like,
frustrated and angry.
yeah,
yelled
and the
at.
time frame and like the spreadsheets and the insanity, like, the joy of cooking and the I wanted to serve the food, be the bringer of the food. It was my childhood kind of thing. I did become a waiter, so I guess I lived my childhood dream at IHOP in Leesburg, Virginia, for a summer. I was a
There you
waiter,
go.
and that was enough for me. So
Well,
So the
that's
moral
some
of the
great
story
news.
is people tell you to dream big, but if you dream small, then you will achieve your dreams.
If you would like, after this, we can go down to the Regal Beagle.
there's a Regal Beagle.
Yeah,
in
here
Ipsy?
in Ipsy, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! All right, that's definitely happening. That's happening. Oh my God! You guys, I didn't know. I'm Ipsy blind, man. This is great. Love it.
All right, well, this is going to be a bit of a deep dive. I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about Violent J's neck tattoos. And for those who don't know, Violent J is half of the hip-hop duo Insane Clown Posse. But beyond that, Violent J's brother is one of the other co-creators of Morton's List, and all of the tables in Morton's List have a particular symbol. And so Violent J, I believe, has the symbols of the Morton's List tables tattooed around his neck. Do you have a story about that, or like what went into that decision? Did you have to like persuade him to do that? How much Morton's List did he play when you were creating it?
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't know how long it would be before Juggalos were brought up, but Morton's List and Juggalos are interestingly intertwined, very separate, as has been mentioned on the show previously, but also very intertwined. So it all goes back to Rob being one of the original co-discoverers of Morton's List. And just to rewind a little bit, we were all high school kids, we're bored, hence the original tag of the game, the end of boredom. Once you're an adult, boredom doesn't exist, so why would you need to end it? But as a kid, it's a serious problem that you need to address. And so my friend Ben and I, we lightning struck, and we just wrote down a list of things to do, and we decided to do them to cure. And then some friends got together, a few days later, and Rob showed up, and Ben and I were like, oh yeah, well, let's do this game we just kind of figured out. Like, let's write a bunch of stuff of what we could do and figure it out. Because, some people are over 18, some people are under 18, some were over 21, some people wanted to go mac on chicks and drink, some people were like super nerds in high school. It just wasn't, we just couldn't get all of our crew on the same page. And that was a big problem. And so we spoke up about this, new game we made of like 12 things to do. And Rob was like, oh shit, I just did this exact same thing. And he was like, I had a list of 10 things. And we were like, no fucking way. Like lightning struck twice at the same crew at the same time.
How similar were those lists?
It was wild. Probably very similar. Like I remember on ours, it was like, go rent a video when renting a video was a thing, right?
Right.
Go get some food, in which having $5 was a problem. Do whatever basic thing. So they probably overlapped a lot, but we decided that night to sit down and we're like, okay, we're actually not going to do anything. What we're going to do is think of all the things we could do, and we're going to build out this game together. So that was the original. Yeah, and then the original page of Morton's List, we just showed here, is a photocopy of, this is Rob's handwriting, actually. This is the third version of an original list, yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you started to talk about that, I remembered seeing this in like one of the first pages of the first edition Morton's
It's an
List.
homage to the original.
It's like a replica.
Before
of
it was a printed game, it was a
the
leaf.
handwritten notebook paper.
Yeah.
So was it always dice?
Yeah. We came up through D&D, right? So we're role play nerds. And the scene was, so Rob was Joe's older brother. He was in the army. He finally came back from the army, and Alex, who was the president of Psychopathic Records at the time, became a friend of mine through a mutual friend, Ben, who was a co-discoverer of Morton's List. He dropped out really early. He wasn't into it. And we were all just roleplay nerds. So Alex would have us over at his house, and we'd be in his basement, which was the Psychopathic Records office. In the corner would be stacks of tapes, not even CDs, but cassettes,
Yeah.
Nice.
boxes of cassettes, and flyers, boxes of flyers. And we would take the flyers and we'd flip them over and we'd write our characters and shit on the back because we had all this unlimited paper. Like that's just how we grew up, nerds. So we were already into lists and like rolling on lists. And the lightning was in real life, switch it to like what we roll, we're actually going to do in real life. It's not going to be a random monster encounter in this fantasy setting. We're actually going to do it. Because we're all adventurous and we're all the age of which, like, who's got a car? A friend has a license. He can drive. We can finally, we're in America. We need a car to go out and do anything,
Right.
So we're of the age of discovering the world. And this was the game that we developed. And it worked so well for us and our group that we decided that we had to publish it and spread it. But to get back to Violent J and his neck tattoos, that is entirely on him. Like, when it happened, I was surprised and honored and amazed. And he did it as an homage to his brother, his older brother. And he knew how important that was to Rob. I mean, he can speak independently of this, but this is my impression at the time. that he loved Rob and loved what Rob was doing, and Rob was really invested in this. He mortgaged his house at the time that he had bought with money from Psychopathic as they were growing and becoming a larger record label with ICP. To $88,000, whatever it was, to fund the publishing of the game. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's a commitment.
yeah. So we were really honored when Joe took it upon him. And he's got a lot of tattoos, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But those are
Pretty
Next
prominent.
prime
Pretty
retail.
prominent. Yeah.
And we love the Juggalos. I've been involved working with Psychopathic since I was a teenager, and working every single gathering of the Juggalos since Rob and I put it together. I was Rob's right-hand man, the original gathering in Novi back in 2000. And it's just been a wild ride through the Dark Carnival ever since, And we are Juggalos, basically. We love it, and we're just it's just not even about the music. It's about family and connecting, in the same spirit of Morton's List of what you guys embody.
It's about being a gang.
It's about being ganged up with your family, being together.
Like the mafia.
Yeah, right. It's like an Italian kind of family who might all love each other. That's how we roll.
Well, I like to say that the canonical answer to "Are you a Juggalo?" should be, I don't know, but I'm down with the clown, right?
There you go.
Much
Sure.
in the way that when Socrates was asked if he considered himself a wise man, he said, "Well, I'm a lover of wisdom," and that's where we get the term
Socrates
philosopher.
also
So
said-
as opposed to
Go ahead, sorry.
being a juggalo or not being a juggalo, you can simply say you're down with the clown, as far as I'm concerned.
There you go. Yeah.
But it
I'm
was
down for the ground,
Socrates
down for the
originally that came up with the line, "I can make my nutsack bob like a yo-yo."
It's true. It's true. Shaggy stole that
ground. There are some iconic
from
lines.
Socrates.
It really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, enough of those clowns.
Can I ask a sub question though? Because
sure.
you brought up a lot of stuff, and this is something that I think I don't remember if we talked about this on the Morton list, but one of the things that I'd like to know from your perspective, and I probably should have put this on the list of questions, but it just occurred to me now. So here we are. It's complex because I wonder if there's obviously been benefit from the affiliation with ICP and the Juggalos.
No
and all
doubt.
that. But do you think that the scrutiny that you've encountered was also impacted by that?
Truthfully, probably not so much. The main problems we encountered with Morton's List were when Gen Con banned us. That's been discussed before. It's the only convention that ever banned us, although that did put us on the convention blacklist. And this is all back in very, very long time ago. Everything's good now. We can go to any convention.
But do you think that you would have come under the scrutiny that resulted in that if you didn't have that affiliation? I know it's a loaded question, but
truthfully, I don't think being affiliated with Juggalos has actually ever hurt Morton's List. It was Gen Con, which was a real life magic thing. That was against their policy. As weird as that is, and as nonsensical as it is, Your Honor, my client cast a spell at you. That doesn't really work in the real world, but it was their policy.
In
So
order to
there.
placate Christians who thought that Dungeons and Dragons promoted Satanism or whatever.
And Magic the Gathering, right? Magic is
Yeah.
inherently evil or whatever. So, yeah, that was that. And then Hot Topic, we were kicked out of Hot Topic because this was right after 9/11, like literally right after 9/11. And there was a quest in the original game that talks about making homemade explosives for fun in the safety of your own home. Very, very small things like bang snaps. But still, that was very sensitive. And we were kicked out of Hot Topic for that. So those are the main problems that Morton's List has encountered, and neither were Juggalo related. In fact, our Juggalo connections to Psychopathic is how we got into Hot Topic in the get-go. So it's been actually nothing but a boon to Morton's List.
I
we
I
love
don't
it.
say that
Yeah.
in admonishment of anything related to ICP or Juggalo culture.
Certainly.
But the fact that the FBI listed them as a gang is so fucking weird to me that that's kind of what leads me to that. Like,
Sure.
like it's
Yeah, because if the man comes down on things that are adjacent to you,
Yeah.
is the man coming down on you too
It's
for
true.
that reason? Yeah.
And there could be loss of sales or other impacts that we're just not directly aware, right? If some parent is assessing whether to buy their child Morton's List or not, and they do some Googling about it, and it's associated with ICP, and they have a negative expression. We never heard about that. We lost sales. It's quite possible. But
the benefits definitely outweigh any potential.
yeah,
drawbacks.
I think so. I think if one is too stuck up or uptight or whatever the problem is to like not be okay with ICP, I get the lyrics are controversial, all that kind of stuff, but like the fan base is just all about fun. It's just a bunch of kids want to have fun together.
I just think they're a
They love
bunch of
each other.
clowns.
Yeah, they're a bunch of clowns. It's like, well, you can't take it
so
too seriously. It's
I
clowns.
used to be
Clowning,
a professional clown.
Yes, there
and
you
I
go.
can tell you that Shaggy and Jay, it's 100% a clown act. It's not a clown act for kids. It's an adult clown act, but it is squarely within the realm of clown performance.
The rich
Because
history of clowning,
everything
yeah.
is exaggerated and over the top as can be, right?
Yep.
That's because clown is like, let's make take a ridiculous idea and make it even more ridiculous, even bigger,
Yes.
even grander ridiculosity, and that's what they're doing. And I think it's great. I think it's hilarious,
Yep.
and they're very clever guys.
Yeah, it's clowning and wrestling. You can't forget their wrestling
Oh,
influences.
right,
They wanted
right.
to be wrestlers originally, and they
Right.
fell into rapping because there was no money in wrestling. There still isn't. But their heart is in wrestling, and
It didn't stop them from trying.
yeah, they wrestled in Madison Square Gardens. I mean, they
Yeah.
achieved many life goals.
You've listened to the podcast. I just come up with yes ands all the fucking time and just lose the format. I'm garbage. But anyway, no, my first introduction to ICP was I was in a band in the early 90s called Inebriated Curmudgeons that we would always put as IC. And we got all this shade because people were like, are you trying to pretend to be ICP? I'm like, who the fuck is ICP? I don't know anything about this. I mean, fucking, what is it?
Right.
That's even before the first album, right?
Yeah. They didn't blow up until 95, 96.
Yeah.
97,
yeah.
98.
I mean, it existed
Yeah.
at the time.
Sure.
But we were getting all this shade from it, and it was weird. I was
Not
like, this
that
is a
we're
whole
here-
letter different.
Not that we're here to talk about ICP, but I found out about ICP because I was starting a joke religion called the Carnitarian Carnivalist Church. It was all about carnival, and when I was thinking about I was going to have ministers, the one requirement was that you had to be able to juggle. And so I was going to call my priests juggalos, and I Googled juggalo to see if anybody was already using it, and that is how I found out about ICP.
No way, you co-cone juggalo?
I did.
I'm telling you guys, Misha is my superhero for so many reasons, and that just is the cherry on the cake. You're kidding me right now. That's great.
Well, anyhow, other great story is when I decided. I think at one point I told you I had rolled to be a juggalo for like 2 months. I was just gonna be as juggalo as possible for 2 months. And the day after I did that, I went out into my driveway, and laying in my driveway, still cellophane wrapped, was a copy of Violent J's solo album, The Shining, just laying there.
What?
Magic happens
What?
when you
Yeah.
get into random reality.
Wow.
It really does.
It really
So
does.
let's move on to the next question, shall we?
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Wow. Oh, I don't take compliments well. Who does, right? Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question. I guess like people just tell me I'm like a nice guy. I'm chill. I don't know. I don't have a good quippy answer to that one because I don't know. People come.
Well, it could be
you are
like
very nice and
getting
chill.
neck tattoos is a compliment in a way.
Yeah. Well.
you know?
Yeah.
So-
Well. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. That one. I just. Yeah.
Right. Well, moral of that story is everybody email Ninja Nate with your compliments because he apparently doesn't receive enough of them.
I'm really. I'm hawking
Yeah.
compliments right now. You can tell
We'll
I'm
drop
bone
a-
dry. I'm bone dry, guys.
You'll give us
Please,
a method of
please.
contact that we can drop in our show notes, and we'll have people send you compliments.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
all 3 people listening will send you compliments. This is going to be a hard one to answer as well. If you had to pick a favorite quest from either edition of Morton's List,
An action or theory?
like the idea of it or one that he actually did.
Right. Like that.
I don't want to get into what was your favorite quest that you ever did, so let's keep it conceptual.
Right. So yeah, quest as written. Gosh, I love. Okay, my favorite quest is from the original, and it's in the new one as well, second edition. It's called originally it's called Chilliness Invasion. All right. So this is what when we're coming up with ideas for Morton's List, you're coming up with everything that's normal. That's right off. Then you're coming up with every weird, convoluted, twisted thing that everyone's ever done, and then you're done with that, and then you're just coming up with just whatever. So we came up with this concept of like, okay, what if you just went to somebody's house and just started chilling and just started enjoying their shit? Like you just invited yourself over. Like, is that a thing you could do?
Are
And
they
we all
there?
decided it's yeah, probably. Well, I mean, yeah, well, that's a different quest. If they're not there. I think they're there in Children's Invasion, and it just was so unique and so original and so awesome. And we've done it, and it works. One guy shows up, you start inviting other people over. You just create a party out of nowhere. Chillness Invasion. So it kind of sums up Morton's List in the way of which it's a little bit out of the box. It's a little bit like, not aggressive, but like a little bit like not polite.
Subversive.
A little subversive in a way. Yeah, that's the way to put it.
This is why I used to believe that the reason you guys got kicked out of Gen Con was because of how Morton's List tends to invade other things going on in the vicinity.
It's an invasive
Which is a
species.
thing that happened a lot at PenguinCon when we did Morton's List quests there. We would be getting into panels and disrupting, people are trying to have a discussion about like who's better, Kirk or Picard, and we're coming in like trying to put party hats on everyone. It was just like it was fun for us, but it was disruptive for them.
Disruptive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Subversive.
Yes. Yeah.
Subversive.
And disruptive for sure. Well, that's why Morton's List is not going to be at Gen Con this year. We've been cool with Gen Con since 2007 or whatever it is. They forgot why they banned us originally. They were like, "Why did we ban you guys?" I'm like, "I don't remember either."
Did you cast a spell on them to make them forget?
Exactly. But now, they're so corporate and so big that actually they have these rules against you can't actually interact with other people. You can't actually get up and leave and like talk to other people or interact with other people. So that's a line that we just
that
can't.
would kind of prevent Morton's List quests.
Yeah, it's not a tabletop game necessarily. Sometimes, yes, you play some art thing or some conversation game. You're never going to leave the table. You're fine. But you might, and that's just beyond what Gen Con.
Sometimes
the
you need to
corporate
drink and
sphere.
mac on chicks.
So you
Sometimes-
mean as an organized activity, you can't leave your bubble?
Yeah, you can't be a sanctioned game and then go basically interact with, interfere, subvert other people's games. Even if it's to like say, for instance, what we did at Origins, which is a wonderful convention that does love Morton's List in all of its glory. We rolled something to do with like hype other people up. So we were like, we found another game and we're like, hey, do you mind if we like cheer for you guys? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. And then we divided into the teams and we're cheering for the players. The Crokinole, it's like this Dex game. They're flicking this chip around. And we're like, yeah, go. We're making up names for people. Yeah, Pinky, you got it, Pinky. And it was just like, that was a wonderful thing to like spark joy out of nothing,
That's
And that's what
great.
Gen Con's missing out on. So
Yeah,
they're
and
lost.
a lot of Morton's List quests, I find if you're questing with the right people, a lot of Morton's List quests can end in going out and like just inspiring other people to be creative, to be more free, to do what's in their heart.
Yeah, it plants the seed that this is possible. You can do this. Yeah.
I don't remember what the quest was, but a couple friends of mine were playing in Chicago, and somehow this quest had us doing like a costumed dance party on the street. And we took a boombox. I took a Foot Locker full of costumes, so I had a label on it that said "Costume Communism" with a red star. And anybody who wanted to, we were just like a couple of us were just dancing in costumes. Anybody who wanted to could just come up and put on a costume. We had like the cops came because we had like 30 people on a street corner in Chicago in costumes, not on Halloween, just a random day. But people got into it.
Yes.
People just walk around like, hey, what's going on? Hey, we're having a dance party. Grab a costume and join in.
Spark a party, man. Exactly. It's not hard.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Love it.
You've said in the past where there were times where you and the other Twilight Lords felt like you were channeling Morton's List instead of inventing it. And you have used, I've noticed you've used...
Use the word discover.
Right.
Yeah.
Do any particular instances stand out, or do you have a theory about where it came from if you are channeling it?
Yeah. It's interesting. So Twilight Lords, there's three. This is the title that Morton's List gives to us. And we wrote this. How that works. So that's myself, Jesse Deneau, and Robert Bruce. So these are the original creators of the game. Yeah, so I think in retrospect, we were going through a co-creative process together that isn't so different than any creative process. But I think at the time we were so young and we hadn't experienced this before. We hadn't experienced the co-creation of creation. I mean, like when you're doing anything creative, building something physical, 3D printing something, inspiration comes out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Things click into place, and you're just like, oh, that's how it was always supposed to be. And you're like, yes, that system of how the lists interact and how the numbers work out, the mathematics clicked into place. And we're like, oh my God, like it felt like when you're in science, you're discovering a principle of nature or mathematics, that's what it felt like. So now that I'm older, I don't think that that's really any different than any kind of creative process. I think that's how it works. There is a mystery, a magic to it, whatever word you want to put on it. So as to a theory of how that happens or where it comes from, I don't know. But I just think engage with it, and it's interactive. Like you put something out, you sleep on it, something comes to you in a dream, something processes out, somebody else bounces something off. some random word sparks something else, and then it just comes together in a form. It's almost like birthing something, right? You're birthing something that has its own DNA. It has a structure to it somehow that was always there somehow, but it wasn't. You weren't aware of. So it's a process of I think becoming aware of the amazingness and wildness of reality, of unconceptualized reality, pure raw reality, and the mystery and magic and choreography of it, the beauty of it. I mean, surrounding like death, death of a pet or whatever it is, like there can be so often these crazy synchronicities and coincidences of who showed up just in time to be there with the dying pet or whatever it is, like you just step back and just become aware of something going on that is beyond human perception, because of course human perception is so limited. It's so ridiculous. It's like an ant. You're just an ant on a piece of grass. You don't know what the hell. There's so much going on. So just to be like cool with that mystery and not the need to know, to grasp on, to understand, to control, to limit. It's limiting. It's self-limiting. Just to relax, let go, and to just be aware when these flowers bloom in front of you. And you don't know how the flowers bloom. I don't know. What the hell's going on? But there's a flower blooming in front of me. Oh my God. Like this is a miracle. There's just miracles in every day. And co-creating Morton's List with Jesse and Rob was 7 years of just birthing this thing that hopefully, has shown growth and seeds and you guys and what's going on now. And it just hasn't touched millions of lives, but some of the lives it's touched, it's just irrevocable. People have gotten married because they met because of Morton's List. All kinds of things that happened that would or could have happened anyway, but it potentiates these things. It's like a catalyst.
Have you ever read Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut?
I haven't, but I'm familiar with the work.
So there's like Wampeteers and a Cuirass, and he's got Wampeteers, Foma, Grand Falloons. There's all these Bocanists.
These terms that Vonnegut.
But one of them is the belief in a Cuirass, which is where people can unknowingly be on the same quest in life. And one of the examples he gives is the invention of radio. Where you had multiple people, inventing something at the same time, independent of each other, like without any knowledge that the other person was even doing the same thing. And he was saying that there are. It's pretty complicated, but that people can be intertwined unknowingly on a quest together. Or collectively, as you've experienced. So, but the fact that you guys were both working on the same thing, and you didn't even know about it.
Myself and Ben and Rob, completely independently. That's wild.
That's great. And one of the first things I noticed about Morton's List when I got a copy was you were talking about like discovering the mathematical precision and the connections between the tables and how the structure is so interlocking in so many different, there's like 3 tables each that correspond to the 3 triumvirate tables and how they go back and forth between each other. And so one time I actually tried to calculate the actual mathematical probability of getting to the Twilight Scroll, and I think probably like a math graduate student could do it, but for me it's so recursive. And there's times that you can go back and forth between tables. I found it very impossible to calculate I could get a good estimate, but as far as an exact figure, it was hard because there's so much recursion in it, where you can get to the cryptic list and go right back to Morton's List and start over. It's not starting over because you can't go down the same time, twice to the same river. Similarly, when you get back to Morton's List, you're not the same person. Anyhow, you seem to be taking a less mystical approach to the game than I've heard you take in the past, but I did have a question on my list about good karma and bad karma, which is kind of central to the Morton's List in-game ideology. And I've heard you talk about people rolling, like if you roll a 13 on the first table, you're not supposed to play until the next sunrise. Like the group disbands. It's not a good sign for playing. And I've heard you say, people who roll a 13 and then say, well, we're not going to count that, we're going to do it anyway, have a bad time. So can
We've
you
experienced that? I don't know about statistically, but yes.
But like, but also the other side where the magic happens. The people who wouldn't have gotten married except for this quest that brought them together or whatever. So like, can you talk a little bit about the good karma, bad karma? How much do you believe in it literally, or how much is it part of that just creative wave?
Yeah, certainly. So right, so when you roll 13, first roll of Morton's list, it's sort of almost like a superstitious crow themed don't play. Like you can do anything else, go do what you would have normally done anyways, but just don't play Morton's. Sort of almost like a superstitious thing. So yeah, I would say that. Okay, so in Morton's list to start off, we use the word karma not in its traditional sense. We use the word karma. Actually, it came from Marvel Superheroes, the role-playing game. Like literally lifted it out of there. And in that role-playing game, you're, say Spider-Man or whatever, and you do good actions to help citizens or whatever it is, and then you gain karma points in your karma pool. And then you have this pool of points that you can then spend later to influence die rolls to help you succeed when you might have failed, right? So that's the idea of karma in Marvel Superheroes. So we kind of took that and reinterpreted it slightly to mean the sort of excitement, the energy. So if you're really bored and on the couch and you have no energy and no desire to do anything, that's a low karma state. You're just like, I know I want to do something, but I just don't have enough energy to actually do it. Like only teenagers experience this like this. But if you rewind, you'll understand. If there's any teens listening, you may experience this recently. It's just like a state of
lack of accountability.
Yeah, you want to do something. You want to experience life, but like you're just on the couch and just no energy. Versus, like, hey, I'm up for anything, guys. Like, let's do it. Let's make anything happen. Let's put our creative energy to do it. Let's make a party on the street in Chicago out of nowhere because we can do it. Like that's a high karma state, right? So that's how we use karma in Morton's list, which is entirely different than karma that might come from Hindu religion or something like that, in which you have good and bad karma, right? Although of course all karma is not desirable. Good karma binds you to the disc of samsara, life and death and all this stuff, just as bad karma does. Of course, good karma is preferable, I guess, if you're experiencing things to bad karma, but either one is undesirable. So that's a totally different understanding of karma. So yeah, that's kind of how we roll with it. We want to get people into this energized state. Anything is possible. We can do it. We'll work together at the group and just make fun out of anything, wherever we are. Morton's list meets you wherever you are, however many people you have, whatever podunk town you're in, whatever time of night it is. I mean, my friend Ben and I, we played Morton's list at 2 a.m. in February. Like it was a blizzard. And we almost didn't roll because we're like, back in the day, like, you got to do whatever it is. And we're like, it could take us out of the house, right? We don't want to be out of the house. We were so bored. It's 2 a.m. We're like, we got to do something. So we roll it, and it's like something about pornography or whatever. And we're just like, no, sorry. It was dumpster diving. It was dumpster.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, fuck, So we're like 2 blocks from downtown Ferndale. There's some dumpsters. Let's go raid some dumpsters. And that's where we found the porn. That's the memorable part of the quest. Behind a used bookstore, it was just chock full of British porn. Like all these like birds and whatever they call it. I was a whole British thing. And so we're like,
wink, wink kind of stuff.
It was so bizarre. So we're like, what are we going to do with armloads of British porn? So we mailed it to everybody in the neighborhood and walked around and had a great time. Was it subversive? Was it a little bit, illegal or whatever? Yeah, you're not supposed to put the box. We were like 14. So you just make fun out of anything.
Yeah. Well, that puts me in mind of it. Like in my hypnosis training, people talk about expectancy. Like a lot of the power of hypnosis is the subject's like belief that something's gonna happen. And so just the idea that you're, I've even heard you talk about the karmic gathering in that way. Like when you're making sure everybody's focused on the role and we're not just like kind of whatever. We're like, we're focused. We're amping ourselves up because like something's gonna happen. It's gonna be weird. We're gonna do it. We're gonna have fun. And just that building that expectancy in yourself could be what goes a long way to creating that magical experience when they do randomly.
100%. That's a great point. I'm learning so much from you guys. This is great. That's exactly. That you build it up within yourself, and you take the power. You take the power that you have. But the boredom tells you that you don't have the power to have fun with your friends or by yourself or whatever it is. But you do. You always do. You can always make an I'll never forget the night with the porn. Oh my God.
Right?
Trudging around in 2 feet of snow in Ferndale. I had no business being outside. But it was a great night.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
What brought the Boulder about anyway? Like where how far into the inception of the game and where, because that, I mean, even at the time, that was an especially rare die.
Especially rare.
Yes.
Yeah. It was hard to find it at game shops, and you might even find ones that had went 1 to 10 and then 3 times.
Yep.
And had
Different
pluses
colors.
and minuses.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a weird ass 30-siders like that. So okay, so not to get fully into the story of Morton, because that's some deep stuff. But but yeah, so we always called the 30-sided die the Morton Boulder because Alex had received this special die from a friend of his, Morton. And when we first got together, I mentioned earlier, that first night in which we discovered that Ben and I and Rob independently had come up with this idea of rolling things randomly. We were like, okay, well, he used a 10-sider, he used a 12-sider. What are we going to do? How many activities can we get on a die? And Alex was like, I've got this Morton Boulder. It's the 30-sided die. At the time, it was the highest number there was.
Yeah.
There was no Zakihedron out yet,
Right.
100-sided die.
And that's just a baseball.
It's hard, you can't even stop.
Unrollable.
30-sided is hard enough to stop rolling. At this size, actually, it might. But
Actually, the 48's not bad.
yeah.
Well, he's also got the sharp edges because commercial dice.
Ooh, yeah.
Commercial dice, to paint them, they cover the whole thing in paint, and then they tumble it, and the paint that's left over is in the numbers. But that's why commercial dice have rounded edges.
Correct.
It's not a design choice, it's because that's how they make the painting easy.
Yeah.
But Damon would rather have the sharp edges, so he takes the time to actually paint in the numbers.
Oh my gosh, these are like as crisp as possible.
Well, he sands them afterwards, but you just put a
Still,
little bit of
yeah,
paint
yeah.
in the number itself, and then you retain the crisp not vertices, the edges on the dice.
That's like the old crayon method. We have to crayon and then wipe it off. I love
But
it.
even those baby boulders there, that obviously great podcasting is something you can't see. But those baby boulders, they actually roll pretty decent.
Yeah, they will stop on a flat surface. It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
But the other smaller boulders that I've seen, they're just almost spheres, and those have hard edges.
These are rougher. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you estimate how many quests you've personally been involved with? Are there any quests from the first book that you haven't rolled naturally?
For sure. Yeah, it's almost impossible to roll even all of the 9 prime quests. That was a criteria of becoming a Twilight Lord. In the 360 Degrees of the Inner Circle, we came out with a supplement that built a level structure and a point structure onto the game that wasn't inherent to the game, but something that we did as kids, but we just didn't want to include too much people at once. We broke it up into a supplement. We later realized, because again, we didn't run the math, like you were talking about, the math is very difficult to run, as to how likely it would be for anyone to get all of those quests. We thought it would be reasonable within a 3 to 5 year period. It's completely unreasonable.
It's
Impossible.
mathematically called the raffle problem. Because when you're trying to get every item on a list by choosing them randomly, it's
Harder
and
harder.
not removing anything from the list. That's
Right.
the difficulty. So
Right.
if you had included that cross out, if you'd done it, that changes things significantly,
Certainly.
especially
Right.
mathematically.
And there are powers as you level up and stuff that allow you to self-select quests and that sort of thing. And we thought that would compensate enough for it. It hasn't. So to answer your question, there's plenty of quests I've not done directly, and the total number is in the hundreds, but probably not thousands. There are people who are super down with Morton List who have played a lot. I mean, they've grown up on it, and they just would play multiple quests for years on end. So there are some people out there who are literally are just.
And do you go
icons of
visit
Morton
them
List.
in the asylum, or they...
now this. Oh man, what else was I going to say? I thought I remembered you telling me at one point that there was a 4th Twilight. Did that not?
Well, actually, yes. Actually, we have brought Brad Luttrell, who I mentioned earlier, Mutant 13, on as the first non-founding Twilight Lord. And we're looking to bring more people on. He's instituting a program to bring more high-level Morton listers on. And we would like to build out the full 13 Twilight Lords as prophesied. There are open spots.
How many do you need?
Well, I guess we're up to 9
If
more.
you got 4, you need 9 more.
yeah.
Yeah. I was on a quest for a while to try for it, but then I found out about the raffle problem, and I realized there was no way I was ever going to roll every quest on time.
Well, we kind of, that is true. We kind of reinterpreted that when we brought Brad on because also he had not met that requirement.
Yeah.
But we were like, okay, at this point, the real test, not to give anything away and people move, is to come to us, is to actually apply. Because it says anyone can apply at any time to give us your requirement. So if people are self-selecting out to not apply because they haven't met an impossible requirement, then they're not Twilight Lord material. You got to apply. You know what I'm saying? And Brad figured it out.
You gave away the big secrets
And
on
he
this
came
show.
out.
So
Came out,
actually,
yep.
just so you know, everything has led to this point. The entire foundation of this podcast and selectively designing it to appeal to you has all been part of our subversive application to become Twilight Lord. So what we figured was why that as a Twilight Lord you would respect and admire our effort in putting together this podcast. I learned how to make dice for this, all this stuff, just so that you would grant us the status.
No,
You were two of the highest level applicants at this point, for sure. You guys rock.
well, it's crazy you say that because back in the day when I realized the raffle problem, I was like, I should just send them my shit anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I talked myself out of it. I even wrote. You were supposed to write an essay on who or what Morton was,
Right.
and I wrote a thing called 13 Theses on who or what is Morton. Sadly, I have that was a cloud document from decades ago that I've lost, but I did write 13 possible explanations of who Morton. But here, I'm here to ask you the real question of this podcast. The central crux of the biscuit, as Zappa might say. What is your favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Okay. Well, I've been prepped. I've listened to all the other episodes, of course, multiple times over, and of course, my answer has to be Mazes and Monsters. It really is. You know,
Mazes and Monsters.
Yeah, you know, it's not a great movie, of course, but it is young Tom Hanks, which is crucial because we already brought up Bosom Buddies. If we're getting into Tom Hanks lore, you know, the old school Tom Hanks when he's just some kind of Canadian floppy, you know, comedian guy. He doesn't know what he is yet. You know, he's just like a bunch of clay. You know, a lovable bunch of clay that everybody loves so much and turned into Tom Hanks somehow. And obviously, it was hugely influential as a child, you know, role playing and this kind of stuff. And LARPing wasn't even known a thing. I don't know whether this could even happen, you know? Like, I didn't go into LARPing, but to see what it did to Tom Hanks' character was amazing. So, it was amazing. Oh, and I have to say,
But that was Satanic Panic.
oh, 100%. 100%.
absolutely.
And it says right in the beginning, it says, based on the book, Mazes and Monsters by Rona Jaffe. But I never noticed that. I went into the Ipsy, let's just say, the Ipsy value world when I was living in Ipsy in college, so 20 years ago, whatever. And I was looking at the book section, and I saw Mazes and Monsters by Rona Jaffe, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. I bought that book so hard, read it so hard. And it's literally the book the movie was based on. It literally is, and it gives you more information about the
But
worlds
it's
and
not
stuff.
based on a true story.
No, I looked at the Pequod Caverns. They don't exist.
Right.
God
It's
damn it!
all
I looked. I was
bullshit.
going to go. I was
It's
going to
all
drive to
bullshit.
Pennsylvania, and I was going to go to those caverns.
Yeah.
But she made them up. God damn it.
Yep. Where is the weirdest place you've ever been?
All right, so we're not talking about like ayahuasca experiences. Like, there's some weird spaces you
Whatever
get
it
into.
means to you. Whatever it means
But
to you.
like in physical reality, wow, weirdest place. I mean, there's so many, man. We've traveled all over the globe, and there's just some crazy ass places you find yourselves in. But okay, the one that popped to mind is it's not even that weird, but it was definitely like super uncomfortable. So I guess I'm interpreting it. It's in Thailand with my ex-wife, and we're trying to get a tuk-tuk ride, like a cab, like a little ride back to where we're staying or whatever it is. It's night. And this guy shows up, and he's all kind of like an old guy, and he's in Thai, and he's doing this thing, whatever. Like, well, we give him some money, he's super happy, and he starts driving us, and I'm like, this isn't really the way, you know? And I'm always kind of like sketched out. You know, in foreign countries, you don't want to be all, oh, everyone's trying to kill me, you know? No, they're not. Everyone's happy and friendly. But like, you gotta like have the street smart. I'm from Detroit, you know what I mean? I'm always on the street smarts. I'm always looking at my environment. What's going on? He's taking us down some crazy neighborhoods, some back alleys, and I'm just like, the threat level is just rising. I'm here with my wife. I'm like, what are we trying to do, you know? Fuck. And it's just crazy back alley shit. And there's just like open garages and like 5 Thai guys all just hanging out, they're like looking ganged out as hell, you know?
Yeah.
And he stops in front of one. He's just like, you know, stay here. And he just leaves us. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, all right, you know, at any point we're gonna have to run. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like we're just at this guy's mercy. Well, of course, it turns out he didn't know nefarious things. He just wanted to buy his yaba, aka meth, from these guys. He comes back to the cab. He's so happy. He's high as fuck. He's like driving
That's
us.
his fuel. That's how you get home.
Yeah, he just gassed up, and he just loved driving us back to the hotel. We're high fiving. It was a great time. So, but it was a weird situation in which
Yeah,
sort of
sounds kinda
like
tense.
you don't know what you need to do now. Are you going to have to run off into the Thai night, or what's going to happen? You know,
But that's not really a place. That's a situation.
it was a situation. Yeah,
What's the
for
weirdest
sure.
place you've ever been?
Damon with the hard-hitting journalism
Ah,
here.
gosh.
No, I mean I liked your answer a lot, but I also
Yeah.
want to hear the second part because you've been to a lot of places.
It's true. It's true. Wow. I don't know. I mean, this isn't really showing up as weird either, but like it was just kind of like surreal, I guess. We were in Japan and went to this ninja village, like the
Okay.
Iga old school Koga ninja territory.
Did they
Like,
have the hexagram tattoos on their forearms?
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice. It was kind of a
Is it
museum.
where Hatsumi lives?
There was definitely some like high level
Like
ninja vibes going on.
grandmasters,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. we met the one grandmaster.
But Snake Eyes.
I love a
wasn't
ninja. No. It was. He seemed very chill, but you just knew like this guy could just take you out in a million different ways. It was wild. So yeah, I don't know if it was the weirdest place, but it was just sort of like this. Ninja Nate. I mean, Ninja's laid out now. You know what I'm saying? But like, I took this name before Deont Hurt. Kind of like popularized it, right? And all that. So I'm trying to claim some old school super white guy ninja credit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? like okay, Ninja Turtle era. Fine. Not
Wait,
before
who
that.
was the guy though? Who was the American ninja who wrote all those books in the '80s?
Oh, Ashita Kim?
No, it was a white guy,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and he introduced the throwing spikes,
Right.
which is total bullshit. Like nobody can even do that, really.
Right. So just being in this ninja village and doing these ninja activities, climbing walls and just doing stuff with this guy there, it just kind of felt almost like a past life, kind of surreal, in which like we're going through the motions of like being tourists, doing this ninja thing. There's no one else there. It wasn't really touristy. It was just sort of like it's a weird homeland thing. Like, Japan is like they got a lot of weird spaces.
So was that? I'm trying to understand the. So you're a white guy American. You come in there. Are you looking for
100%.
like a ninja experience, or are you actually like applying to train as a ninja?
It was just a day trip, so we were just going out there to like see what.
So it was.
I wanted to go to Ninja Homeland. That's all.
It was just a tourist. Like it was definitely for you.
for sure. It was a ninja village.
Yeah.
That they like, but there was nobody there. I don't know if it was off season. I don't know what was going on, but it seemed like it was a little bit like run down. Let's just say. There's not a lot of tourists because it was way out in the mountains. The Ninja Homeland is like, because it's going to be conquered by the samurai and all that kind of stuff, the forest clans and all that. There's a lot of history out there. So I just wanted to be in that area, really.
No, that's cool.
And meeting the Grandmaster. He was involved with Three Ninjas movies, I want to say. Three Ninjas Strike Back. He was in the movie. I want to say he was actually in the movie.
Three ninjas.
Yeah, something like that.
That's like the worst possible ninja
Yeah.
movie to be affiliated with.
Right. But yet he was like the only real thing. It was anyways, it was just weird on many levels. There you go.
I just want to say that Ashita Kim is white. It's a pen name, and he is the guy who wrote all the ninja books in the 80s.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies. I didn't
His birth
expect
name
it.
is apparently
Leo Schwartzberg.
Radford William Davis.
That's
But he wanted
as white
to
as
write
possible.
books on being a ninja, so he wrote under the name Ashita Kim.
And it was all bullshit. It was wholly discredited. Yeah, he's about as legit as like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I did a rebuttal report on one of his books for a school project when I was like, I don't know, 11. 'Cause I was really into because I'm also a stage magician, right? So I was into James Randi bunking stuff. So he had a book called Ninja Mind Control,
Oh my god.
and it was full of nonsense.
Well, then the whole ninja thing. I mean, it's so funny to me because when you look at it, it kind of all started with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, yeah. This craze, yeah.
Yeah,
There was one in
yeah.
the 60s and 50s with the movies and stuff, but like the modern craze is the 80s.
Right. And then all of a sudden everything was ninja, right? And all this because I grew up on Long Island, and we used to go into the city all the time. We go to Chinatown, and there'd be these huge, biggest stores in the whole area were these martial arts stores.
Right.
And it was cool because you could buy gravity knives there and all this stuff we weren't supposed to have. But we get the blunt throwing stars,
Yeah, sharpen them up, man, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good time.
That's great.
So Nate, if you could have any third edition non-violent cantrip to cast at will, what would it be? And I can give you a list of examples if you don't have those memorized.
Please do. I haven't memorized all my cantrips from third edition. 3.5 or 3?
Things like
3.5 and
know.
3 have
Okay.
it's the same.
Yeah. So things like dancing lights, light, ghost sound, mage hand, mending, arcane mark,
Open, close.
detect magic, prestidigitation, and read magic. What's read magic?
You can read magic.
Read some bullshit.
If you're
Magic is a language that nobody speaks, and you have to use a spell to cast in order to read it. Or
Okay,
do like
nerd.
an arcane knowledge search. That's fine. I know I am absolutely.
any of those sound useful to you in the real world?
Well, I always go to like monetizing, as my default, right? So which of those can I monetize and actually make a living on? Prestidigitation
maybe.
could be good.
Mending.
Mending,
Yeah.
you think? Yeah.
Mending would be dope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll be about 2 to 3 days for me to fix your TV. Mending.
Say it, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of sold on that. I might take mending. Yeah.
Oh, you skipped over open close though. If you want to talk
What is
about,
open close?
you can open close any lock.
Oh well, I mean, if
Like
It's
lock
like a
sport.
lockpick.
Yeah, you
that's
do the best
like
lock sport
that's
version.
like picking invisibility in the invisibility versus flight question. If you're picking open close, it's because you want to steal shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I think we've covered that, right? No, I absolutely realized very recently that the only thing I like about video games is looting. And the more looting is in a video game, the more I'm going to like that video game.
Nice. A looting-based video game.
Yeah.
Mass loot.
All right. What's a fun fact about you that few people know?
Oh wow, these are tough questions.
know,
A fun fact. It's not so fun. I mean, gosh, weird shit. I mean, I worked at an IHOP in Leesburg, Virginia. Came up here. It's not really fun though. It's an odd. Not even that.
What is your stance on chocolate chip pancakes?
I'm pro. I would prefer blueberry.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
And maybe even blueberry chocolate chip pancakes. We don't need to be.
I'm just saying, as a kid, like going to IHOP and getting that dessert on a plate was.
Well, I would get the Belgian waffle with like the strawberries and the whipped cream piled up to the top. You know what I'm saying?
The thing about IHOP that was always super sketchy was, though, the syrups on the table were like half crystallized. They were like it was sketchy as fuck, and you could tell like based on the rarity of the potion therein, like there was a danger level there.
The lingonberry, yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, yeah, wait, how
Like if
long
you
is
were
that?
going strawberry, you're fine.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, it
fine.
gets
That,
filled up
that
a
was
lot.
recycled, but like butterscotch, I think it was What were
Yeah,
the flavors?
lingonberry, butterscotch, plain, obviously. Yeah, they were all garbage. I mean, it's all corn syrup, man. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just straight corn
horrible.
syrup.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm assuming that the same logic applies to the ketchup bottles, or the
Oh
same ketchup
God,
bottle.
they're horrible. Yeah,
Right.
don't eat
Yeah.
that
They
stuff.
just refill, and there's like this brown gaseous layer of
Yeah.
No, don't eat at
fermented
restaurants.
ketchup.
Restaurants
Don't
are
eat at
nasty.
restaurants. You know what I mean? I learned that quickly.
So, do you ever get tired of doing random stuff? Like, do you find yourself hemming and hawing between, say, like Red Pop or Rock and Rye, and you think I should roll for it, but then you're like, you know what? I don't want to roll. I just want to choose this stuff. What's been your journey with randomness versus choice?
Yeah, I think choice is the default. So for me, it's a struggle to always remind myself to not fall into the default. Because the default programming mode, you just go through your day and you just do whatever. You go to the gas station, blah, blah, whatever. You don't think about it. But like, thanks to you all, I'm like, I should wear a random outfit today. Well, I didn't have time for that. So I'm wearing what I'm wearing. But I was like, I should bring a random drink today. So I did. And there was 22, and I used the Yar.Quest little plug
nice.
for the randomness
Awesome.
roll, you know.
Awesome.
And it was 22 coolers because I don't know, the ones that were in the coolers, complicated. So I got cooler 18, and there were 6 shelves. So I got shelf 1, and I got option 2 out of 4, and that's this garage beer. It's a classic light beer, and it says that it's beer flavored beer. So it could be a sponsor, is what I'm saying.
That's
You know what I mean?
Beer flavor.
So just putting it out there, garage beer, if you're listening.
Beer flavored beer, garage
Yeah,
beer.
yeah,
And you probably never would have known about that or picked it up if you hadn't.
Where's
rolled
it? Where's
randomly.
it brewed?
I would have never bought this on purpose. But I think it should be a sponsor of the show. It is brewed in Irwindale, California by a company called Jock Beer. And in fact, if it was called Jock Beer, not Garage Beer, I would have bought it more because Jock Beer is funnier to me than Garage Beer, personally. But like, that's
The
on me.
word jock, though, it's a reference to the strap, right?
Because you're a jock, you're a sports person, you wear a jock strap, right? That must be where it
But
comes
I'm
from.
saying that the word jock strap
Yeah.
precedes
Oh, the slang of jock.
the slang of jock. I believe so.
Probably, right.
Well,
That's why we
if
needed
only
somebody-
we had an intern to look that up.
Yeah, right. So
Etymology of jock
Before we
strap.
move on here, I just you've brought some things, and I mean I've obscured them with all the things I've given you, but I'm assuming that you brought these things because you wanted to share them with us.
Well, I did bring a few things. One was a pocket full of dice. Misha has inspired me to never leave the house without dice.
So is that a magic 8-ball die?
Indeed, you recognize it. It is a D20 that was extracted from a magic 8-ball. And it's a beautiful thing. There are 10 positive answers, as you may know, 5 neutral, and 5 negative answers. And it's a good divination tool. It's divination, not necessarily random reality, for sure. But it's a good divination tool to have on hand, and I do enjoy it. Magic 8 Ball deserves its full props and heat because I don't know if it's been mentioned on the show, but like, oh my god, like all of our childhoods, Magic 8 Ball.
I don't think it needs to be
Yeah.
mentioned.
Well,
don't
also,
think
I
it
mean,
ever-
on the divination episode, we talked about how the line between divination and random reality is pretty blurry.
Correct. Right.
So, but yeah, having the die out of the 8 ball that you can just roll for like, although it's, I mean, well, there are neutral answers too. So, what do you do when you get if you're using it for random reality? What do you do if you get a neutral?
Well, sometimes it'll say concentrate and ask again. So it's like a re-roll, kind of
okay.
thing. So eventually you can get to sort of a one.
But it's
over
hollow
there.
like a ping pong ball, right?
Yeah, this is not this is a horrible die, really. It's only meant to
Well, it
float,
has to float,
in the
yeah.
in the Magic 8 Ball, right? Exactly.
yeah.
So you got a fate die, right?
Yeah, so I just a variety of. I do like the D6, as Misha mentioned, with the original Dice Man books and all that kind of stuff, which we weren't aware of until 2005, well after Morton's List was published. Strangely enough, because Morton's List is obviously a continuation of the Dice Man concepts and ideas brought into a group setting for people to do together versus an individual experience. But we were completely unaware, other than the universe through those means. So I do prefer a green die because in the Dice Man book it does mention that they're green.
It's green.
There is that. So I brought that with me. Of course, a Morton Boulder, a 30-sided die, also green. And a little chance cube, not quite from the movies. It's a fate die from the fate system, the role-playing system. You've got pluses, minuses, and neutrals, 2 of each on a 6-sided die. That's also useful.
Nice.
But, yeah, so it's nice to have dice in the pocket.
What's one book or movie that changed your perspective on life?
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So that's an easy one. All right. So Ian McGilchrist, The Master and His Emissary. The name of the
Oh
book.
yeah.
Oh, familiar. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Say no more. Say no more. I'll explain. So this guy, don't watch the videos. Well, there is a nice animated video, 15-minute video, which is what got me into it. That's well worth it. Anything else with the guy, it's not a favorable light or whatever. But the book itself was really world-changing. It's divided into 2 parts. One is the brain science behind what the right brain and the left brain are doing. Basically, we all have 2 brains. We're operating 2 reality-generating, inducing experiences at the same time, simultaneously, all the time. And one is the left brain, which is the focus in on a specific thing, create a concept. If you're a bird, which is a good metaphor, you're looking at the food. You're trying to determine what is food source and what is not. You're focused in on the ground. But as a bird, you can't survive unless you also have situational awareness of what's going on in your entire environment at all times. That's the right brain. So it's a little bit of a deep book, but people listen to the podcast, they're into this kind of stuff, it's college level, it's fine. It's not hard, and it's just reality shaking because he really breaks down modern brain science, as a couple of years ago, what's going on with these 2 brains, and what happens, through these studies of people who, through accident or disease, have lost part of the brain through stroke, etc. My Stroke of Insight was a huge book that this woman came out with. Who was a brain scientist and had a stroke and wrote a book about it. It's very, very interesting. And this book breaks down all the brain science of what's actually going on at that level. Not to get into it, it's a deep subject, but I'm always looking for the core philosophy, the core deepest idea, the deepest assumption that you are assuming is true, then you say X, Y, and Z because of that. Let's go back to that assumption. Are we assuming that we're in a materialistic universe and we're all individual people bumping around like atoms? That's an assumption. So you can say things are true based on that assumption, but they're not true if you don't have that assumption. So now if you're really bringing it back to how the brain works and how your reality is constructed, and if you really look at science, science is like time is a concept. It doesn't exist independently. We can't say that here's an increment of time. It doesn't exist. It's experiential. So, okay, 3 dimensions don't exist independently. It's experiential. Science is telling us these kind of things. So when you really are open to not holding on to anything and to be like, okay, what's actually happening here? Books like this, for me, were transformative, and it really bore down to the core concept. It's metaphor. His final discovery is that everything is metaphor. You need a common point of interaction, experience, to say that, oh, we both have experienced this, so therefore we can say B. And I don't know. You got to read it. For me, recently in the last 5 years, that's been huge. Now there have been other books before that. Ken Wilber's Sex, Ecology, Life, whatever the book is called, was hugely impactful at that time. Turns out that's a very mathematical, philosophical take. No, that's not. But at the time, that was really helpful for me to kind of contextualize all of Western philosophy and to see where everybody got it right and where they kind of went wrong, and to kind of give you that background. But this Ian McGilchrist's book, it really just went to the next level. The other half of the book isn't brain science. The other half of the book looks at only Western, because that's where his expertise is, Western history of philosophy and art, and shows you how the brain science has developed over time. No, for instance, let's go to the Greek. They used to read right to left, right? All language started right to left.
Except Japanese.
Oh, fair. Okay. Original, old school Hebrew, like Aramaic, all this kind of stuff, right? Before people even got to Japan, all that kind of stuff.
Isn't Egyptian up down?
I think hieroglyphs can be in any direction.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Okay.
Oh.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm not trying to.
No. Yeah.
refute what you're saying.
We're talking loosely. I'm not.
Yeah, challenging.
I'm not really trying to. I'm not. I don't claim to be intelligent at all. I'm wisdom based. I'm not intelligent based at all.
You're not a wise man. You're a lover of wisdom, like Socrates.
Yeah. I do love wisdom.
But you're. So I think what's more important than knowledge is curiosity.
Yes, and being open.
Yeah.
Just being open, right? Because if you think you know something and you lock it in, you're only limiting yourself from seeing and being aware of what's right outside that.
I had this really odd, really fucking awesome conversation last night with another woman that actually comes up here, and she was talking about. She showed me a bunch of Nigerian sacred geometry.
Oh wow!
Nice.
And we had this long conversation about, first of all, how similar it was to Celtic.
Sure.
Like sacred geometry, I'm going to use that term very loosely. I know it has very specific meanings.
Flower
but
of
I'm gonna
life,
say
etc. Yeah.
any repeated ritualistic drawing that has a story that's always associated to it as part of a ritual or some religion. But so then we kind of went through this thing, and I'll cut to the chase, but at the end of it, I proposed to her, I said, what if science is just another religion? And by religion, I'm specifically saying this is a philosophical view of the universe that I have based on these rules and my understanding of those rules.
Yeah.
Well, science can be two things too, because you have science as a methodology
Scientific
of
method.
figuring how stuff works, but then what I would term scientism, the idea that we have this body of truth because of the scientific method, and when you're taking the body of knowledge on faith rather than actually doing science,
Exactly.
that's where it
Which
becomes
is
more
it's
of a
not
religion.
science anymore, because the whole point of science is to not know.
Yes. Be comfortable. Love not knowing. Everyone has a construct in which they are apprehending reality in some way. And it's all over the place. It's all fucking over the place. This kind of science, that kind of, every science is a different science. Every science is a science of sociology looks at people in mass. Science of psychology looks at people as individuals. There's all these lenses. There's a million lenses you can look through, and it's the elephant in the philosopher's situation. I see the knee. I see the tail. I see the trunk. I see.
Well, that's one of the tenets I think of scientism is the belief that there is one best, truest lens,
No.
and
Or
there's
that
not
there is a
gonna be.
constant.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to circle back to that right to left ancient language?
Well, no, I was just saying that they were right to left, right, and then they switched left to right. But in between, they started going right to left to right in a snake pattern, back and forth.
yeah.
There was like hundreds of years or however long in which they did that, right? So you actually can see the brain changing, and you can see it even in the art, like in the Middle Ages art. People of the left profile or the right profile.
Are these letters or pictograms?
In the art, it's pictorial.
No, in the reading of left to right. And
It would be in
going-
Greek, so just in letters. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I was going to bring that up, the idea that, and I don't know how intensively this has been studied, but the idea that one of the major differences between what we would call a Western worldview and an Eastern worldview is like Asian languages being ideograms instead of phonograms. And we have letters in a linear order, and they have concept symbols. And it's more, to my mind, more of a right brain spatial processing versus a left brain focus.
Yeah.
It's a lot like ASL.
Sign language.
Yeah, exactly. Where you put the language structure changes because you're representing things and ideas at the same time. And
Yeah, the brain size is different. Like that's what I was default to. It was like you can see this in the brain through modern science MRIs, functional brain imaging, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually see this. And that, to me, that overrules everything. I don't care what you think about whatever your philosophy is about, whatever your politics about, whatever. This is the brain side. This is what your brain is doing when your cognitive dissonance is happening.
So you promote anything or talk about the future of random reality? What's coming next?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, man. So listeners may be aware that there's a second edition of Morton's List that came out last year.
It's right there.
It is right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right there, right there.
it
We
is.
got a couple versions.
It is available online right now. In the hardcover version, there's a new Kickstarter that's starting up shortly, which will offer some new versions, etc. So that's in the
Travel.
works.
It's mostly travel versions, right?
Personally, I came out with the game Stranger Tales a few years ago. It was a personal dare kind of situation. I caught an early version of COVID before it came out. It was like a SARS,
The beta version?
SARS-ish beta COVID. Yeah, in 2018 actually, and it was 10 days of just like.
Were you hanging out
hell.
with Mickey Mouse and just fucking the shit out of?
I went to a burner party in Ann Arbor actually, and I caught some shit. It was not good. And after that experience, when you're just laid out for 10 days, and you're not doing anything, you got a lot of time to think. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna come out with the game. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna debut it in 4 months. So I went from 0 to a published game in 4 months.
Wow.
So it's a little bit, half baked, right? But Stranger Tales.
Everything in this show is half
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
Half-baked
something.
is the
You know,
only
it's good.